All right, guys, it is time for health. So take out your health books. We're going to turn to page 103 and do our comprehension check review, making sure that you got the right answers on that. So, number one, a person walking on a sidewalk or on the side of a road is called a D pedestrian. Super job. Always walk on the F sidewalk. Remember, we always walk on the sidewalk if there is one. If there isn't, then we walk on the street, but then we'll talk about that in a minute. Number three, do not enter a street between parked cars. Whenever there's parked cars, don't enter a street. Number four, when getting off a bus, always cross the street in front of the bus. Very good. And number five, always get into and out of the car on the side closest to the curb so you don't lose your door with a big truck coming by, okay? So we said always walk on the sidewalk if there is one. Always walk with your family or friends. Don't walk alone, but always walk on the sidewalk if there is one. But what do we do if there's not? Left side of the street. Very good. Toward the oncoming traffic. So you can watch for them and keep that drive. Yeah, you better keep watching. You can watch the drivers, see their eyes, and watch them drive on. Make sure you're paying attention when you just go, okay? Not on the right side where they're behind you and you have to keep checking. Walk on the left side of the street. Um, oh, and then with dusk. Make sure you're home before dusk. But if your family decides to go out, during the time where the sun's just about to go down and wants to wait till it's a little bit cooler or something like that, then wear light colored clothing or carry a light so people can see you. It is very dangerous to be out at that time without somebody with you, but especially if you have dark clothing on. So wear light colored clothing or carry a light. And then we talked about personal safety as well. Make sure you remember that and be aware. Always tell if something makes you feel uncomfortable. It's, one of the biggest things that they keep telling you in here: yell and find an adult, yell and run the opposite direction, yell and run away. I know it seems like embarrassing to yell, but if your life is in danger, that's what you're going to want to do. You want to yell and you want to make sure to make as much noise as you possibly can so it can deter somebody from trying to harm you in any way. So be aware of that. So, page 104 now, we're going to talk about recreational safety. So, review over the public safety rules that we've talked about, keeping yourselves safe and the reminders and calling 911 and staying in well lit areas and all the different things, walking on the left side, what a pedestrian is, because there'll be a quiz tomorrow over what we've already gone through. Bleh, sorry. Okay, we're rewound and you didn't even hear that. So there'll be a quiz tomorrow over what we've already gone over from the past couple of pages. So be prepared for that. Let me just double, triple check that. Okay. So, sorry, hold on. Yes. So there'll be a quiz tomorrow, quiz 5, I believe. Yes, quiz 5 over what we've already gone through. Okay, so be prepared for that. So, recreational safety. Playing in your neighborhood can be lots of fun. By practicing safety habits, you can make sure you are playing safely. Play safety. Okay, play safety. It is never safe to play in a busy street. Sometimes people think, oh, we don't get a lot of traffic, so, it's okay. It's just never safe to play in a busy street. It's never safe to play on a street, okay? Your backyard, a playground, or a neighborhood park can all be safe places to play. And an adult should be with you if you play at a public playground or park. Before you begin to play, you should look for broken glass or other trash on the play area. If you find any sharp objects, ask an adult to remove them. Don't touch something, okay? I know sometimes at school people will come up and be like, look at this piece of broken glass I found. And I'm like, don't touch it. because if you get cut by it, you don't know what germs are on it. And if that, cuts you and that gets into your bloodstream, you don't know what kind of germs you're allowing into your body. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So if you find something that doesn't look right, something that's sharp, or something that just looks like it should not be on the playground area, then go to an adult and ask the adult to help you remove it, not you doing. Um, I know, what was Isla and Isaac went um, to a park, I think, the other day, and they found like a bag full of trash. I mean, like, not they found, but they ended up collecting like a bag full of trash the other day, because people left it. It's kind of sad. That shouldn't be. So make sure we're not the ones doing that. Make sure we're the ones helping to keep it clean. You should also look for holes in the ground that might make you trip or fall before you start a game. Beware, because sometimes there's little dips or little holes or something, and that could twist an ankle and hurt somebody pretty badly. So look for that as well before you start. Stay away from that area, or ask an adult to see what they can do to help, keep that from being an issue. Do not climb on bleachers or picnic tables. They were not made for active play. If the wood is rough, you could get splinters from it. And you think, you're sliding along, oh, ouch, you could get splinters in not fun places, not just your hands, okay? So we don't want to play on those things, just running back and forth. They're not made for that. Some picnic tables and things aren't even bolted down, so you stand on it or lean on it and it could come over on you. Just don't. They're not made for play. They're made to sit and eat and enjoy a meal. So be aware of that. Plus, you think, if you want to sit and eat on that, do you want to have a bunch of people's feet that have been walking on who knows what all over that before you sit down and eat on it? So think before you do things like that. Neighborhood safety. Do you play in a safe place? Write some of your favorite games to play outside. So look at that carefully. Then, page 105, it is good to play outside and to get all the fresh air and exercise you can. While you are playing, if you feel tired, you should stop and rest, because you will not be able to move as fast and you may not be as aware of your surroundings. I know when I'm tired, all of a sudden it's like, wait, what just happened? What did I just do? Or I didn't see that coming at me, or I didn't hear that, or we're not as aware. So we need to rest if we're tired. Our friends might say, no, come on, come on, come on. You know your body. You have to listen to it and say, no, I've got to take a break. If you wear glasses, you should be very careful during any active game. Your optometrist may suggest that you take your glasses off while you are playing, or that you wear sports glasses that are not so easily broken. One of the things that can be a danger, glasses can break very easily. There are sports glasses, but sometimes it's a lot. So to try to buy a whole extra pair of glasses, but your optometrist may say, if you can see well enough, take your glasses off while you're playing, rough play outside or whatever, or may suggest that you have sports glasses so that your glasses don't break so easily. You should not go barefoot while you are playing. Shoes protect your feet from splinters, cuts, rusty nails, and other germs. When you play team sports like baseball, football, or soccer, always wear protective gear. Sometimes we're like, oh, I'm just too cool for that. But that's when people get hurt because they're not protecting themselves. Those sports have protective gear to protect your shins, to protect, different parts of your body that could get hit or hurt in a certain way. You need to protect yourself from that. It will keep you from getting seriously injured. These items protect you from serious injuries. If you are a good sport, you think of other people and play safely during a game. I know we get excited and we love running around, but if you are just flailing around and like, I don't care what anybody else is doing, I'm just going to have fun and run up and down, you could seriously injure and hurt somebody, so you need to play safely. It is never safe to throw rocks or sticks or to trip or push other children. You should avoid rough play since it can cause careless accidents. After you push somebody down and they fall and they get seriously hurt, oh, I'm sorry. It's a little late after that. So just play calmly. Don't throw things. Don't have sticks and rocks or anything in your hand so that nobody gets senselessly hurt. Animal safety. Do you like animals? And I know you guys do. You guys are tell me all the times all the different animals that you enjoy and love. Your family pet may be fun to play with, but you should ask the owner's permission before playing with another pet. So when you're on a walk with your family and there's another dog that you see, before you just run up and, start hugging the dog, don't do that because that owner needs to let you know if that's okay. Maybe they know that their dog is not very good with small kids, or maybe their dog is not very friendly, and the owner will be able to tell you that. So you always go up and ask first before you just go. And you make sure that they're smelling you first because pets get nervous. And you have to realize you're here, you think you're small because adults are bigger, but compared to a dog, you're huge. And when you just come in, hey, how are you? How scary is that for that dog? Okay. So you have to be careful. Um, don't just go up to another pet. If you see a pet wandering around by itself, do not call the animal to you. Um, Instead, tell your parent and stay inside until the animal has been taken care of. You don't know if it's a pet or not, and if it is, um, then somebody will be looking for it, and the police can help to find it or whatever. But sometimes there are sick pets, or sometimes it's not a pet, and you think it might be. You just want to avoid that at all costs. Sometimes they're not nice pets, so you need to be careful. Um, there are some animals that you should avoid. Animals that are injured may not realize that you are trying to help them, and they could bite or scratch you. Have you ever seen a nest of baby birds? Birds and squirrels are interesting to watch, but it is best to watch them from a distance. Some animals can carry diseases. By avoiding these animals, you are keeping yourself safe. Have you ever seen an anthill or a wasp's nest? Maybe you have been stung by one of these insects. Check the area where you play, including any playground equipment, before using it to be sure there are no harmful insects. Sometimes they make nests in certain parts of the playground equipment, so you have to be careful. I know we've had them in the basketball hoops on the playground, and every once in a while there's many that are by the playscape, and they just formed a nest somewhere around there. So you have to be very careful. And we might not think of ant hills as being that dangerous, because we haven't experienced it, but down south, if you step on an ant hill, it's usually a fire ant hill. And I tell you, there's a story that I often tell, and I just, because of time, I'm not going to be able to tell it, but maybe I'll tell it at some point. I, never thought anything about ants because we have ants up here, but the fire ants like they have down in Florida and Georgia and some places down south are horrible. And I've been bitten by them before, and it's not fun. And you just think it's a regular red ant hill. Now, but there's a lot going on underneath the surface that you don't see, and hundreds of them come up and attack, and it's not a fun thing. So just be careful, beware. What should you do if you are stung, bitten, or scratched by an animal? Be sure to tell your parents. Don't hide it from them. They will help you wash the injury with soap and water, or they may take you to the doctor because it might be something that needs to be checked. Caution, animal safety. Avoid animals that are not with their owners. Don't go up to them. Don't try to help them. Don't try to capture them. If they're not with their owners, just leave them. Do not try to help an injured animal unless, your parents can, but not you. Check any play areas for harmful insects. Wash your hands after playing with a pet. Plant safety. Did you know poisonous plants might be in your neighborhood? You should learn to recognize and stay away from them. Poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac are the most common plants that can irritate your skin. Many of you probably have had poison ivy before, so you know. Poison sumac is a shrub or a small tree, and you can look at the little, red leaves that you see there. In the early spring, its leaves are orange, then they turn green. In the fall, they turn a red-orange color. Poison oak usually grows as a vine, and so vines kind of snake around and, lay low or whatever, so you can see it's kind of snaking and vining up the tree. Poison ivy grows as a low crawling shrub or as a climbing vine. Both poison ivy and poison oak have shiny leaves that turn bright colors in the fall, so you'll be able to recognize them. If your skin comes in contact with one of these plants, the oil from that plant will cause your skin to turn red and swell. Blisters will form and your skin will itch. Skin poisoning can be especially harmful if it causes swelling around your eyes and nose, making it hard for you to breathe. As soon as you have touched a poisonous plant, tell a parent. You will need to wash your skin well with warm water and soap. An anti-itch cream that can help soothe your skin until it heals. Now, I do have to tell this story really quickly. There was a family that I used to bring to church every once in a while, and one evening when I dropped them off at home, their mother wasn't home yet, but she was almost there. And she had told me, they can stay and play in the yard until I get home because it's usually not that long after you get there. And so when I dropped them off, I said goodnight and waved goodbye. And it was starting to get dark, but then I knew their mom would be home soon. Well, she told me the next week, she said, thank you for dropping them off. That was totally fine. But one of my sons did something super foolish because there were a lot of mosquitoes out, and he decided to take a leaf and just wipe it all over his face. And he wiped it all over his face, and he's like, hey guys, the mosquitoes aren't bothering me anymore because I just wiped this leaf all over my face. Now, I said it was getting dark, so he wasn't really paying attention to what the leaf looked like or whatever, but he just decided to rub it all over. And by the morning, his eyes were swollen and he could barely breathe. His face got so swollen, he had a hard time breathing. It was a poison ivy plant that he had, leaf that he had rubbed all over his face. It's very, very dangerous. So you need to be very careful. If you do something like that, don't just rub plants. Don't just take things from the outside and rub them and touch them, put them in your mouth. You don't know where they are, and you're not familiar with all of it, so you want to stay safe and careful. So don't put things in your mouth or rub them on you, because he had to go to the doctors, I believe, and get some kind of allergy medication to help to bring down the swelling so he could breathe. So it's very, very dangerous, so be aware of that. All right, so you're going to work on the comprehension check on the bottom of page 107. We'll go over it tomorrow. Hopefully I'll remember, and or not tomorrow, on Monday, and hopefully I'll remember, and then we'll go on to our next little bit. There's more recreational safety that we'll be learning about. All right, so do well on that, and like I said, be ready for no, tomorrow's your quiz. Today's your quiz. What? Oh my word. No, Monday's your quiz. Sorry, mind. Monday is your quiz because today is Friday. Just ignore Miss Monroe right now, okay? Be ready for Monday for your quiz. All right, I think we got it. If not, then I'll come back in another video and tell you something else. Okay, see you later. Bye.